things that we are well known for in New Zealand. Green rolling hills, perfect, you might say, for hobbits to hide in and for plenty of sheep to roam. We're known for manaakitanga, or the pride that we take in caring for our guests. So much so that it even extends to our most entrenched sporting rivals. And now we're known for something else. The 15th of March 2019, the day an alleged terrorist undertook the most horrific attack on a place of worship, taking the lives of 51 innocent people, devastating our Muslim community, and challenging our sense of who we are as a country. Now, there is no changing a nation's history, but we can choose how it defines us. And in Aotearoa, New Zealand, the people who lined up outside of mosques with flowers, the young people who gathered spontaneously in parks and open spaces in a show of solidarity, the thousands who stopped in silence to acknowledge the call to prayer 7 days later, and the Muslim community who showed only love. These are the people who collectively decided that New Zealand would not be defined by an act of brutality and violence, but instead by compassion and empathy. Make no mistake, though, we do not claim to be a perfect nation. While we are a home of more than 200 ethnicities, that does not mean that we are free from racism or discrimination. We have wounds from our own history that 250 years on from the first encounters between Māori and Europeans, we continue to address. But since the terrorist attack in New Zealand, we have had to ask ourselves many hard and many difficult questions. One example sticks in my mind. It was only days after the shooting, and I visited a mosque in our capital city. After spending some time with community leaders, I exited and walked across the car park where members of the Muslim community were gathered. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw a young boy gesture to me. He was shy, almost retreating towards a barrier, but he also had something he clearly wanted to say. I quickly crouched down next to him. He didn't say his name or even hello. He simply whispered, "Will I be safe now?" What does it take for a child to feel safe? As adults, we are quick to make the practical changes that will enable us to say that such a horrific act could never happen again. And we did that. Within 10 days of the attack, we made a decision to change our gun laws and banned military-style semi-automatic weapons and assault rifles in New Zealand. We've started on a second tranche of reforms to register weapons and to change our licensing regime. These changes will help to make us safer. But when you're a child, fear is not discreet, and it cannot be removed through legislative acts or decrees from Parliament. Feeling safe means the absence of fear, living free from racism, bullying, and discrimination, feeling loved, included, and able to be exactly who you are. And to feel truly safe, those conditions need to be universal. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter where you live. The young Muslim boy in Kilburnie, New Zealand, wanted to know if I could grant him all of those things. My fear is that as a leader of a proudly independent nation, this is one thing that I cannot achieve alone. Not anymore. In our borderless and technologically connected world, commentary on race, acts of discrimination based on religion, gender, sexuality, or ethnicity, they are not neatly confined behind boundaries. They are felt globally. The fact I received so many letters from Muslim children from around the world in the weeks after March 15 speaks to the power of connection. These children had no sense of distance. They may have never heard of New Zealand before March 15. They just saw an act of hatred against their community, and it felt close to them. Whether it is acts of violence, language intended to incite fear of religious groups, or assumptions about ethnicities to breed distrust and racism, these actions and utterances are as globalized as the movement of goods and services. Children hear them. Women hear them. People of faith hear them. Our rainbow communities hear them. And so now it is our turn to stop and to listen, to accept that our words and actions have immeasurable consequences, and to speak not only like the whole world is listening, but with the responsibility of someone who knows a small child somewhere might be listening too.